night. We're going to do ladies. I got the Corey and I. It took a little while. Hello, everyone. I have to go decaffeinated tonight. I want to sleep well tonight. Good deal. How is everyone today? Fine, fine. We're all right. We're all right. Good deal. So tonight we'll do the dinosaurs, but also we're going to do ladies' night for the race. We're going to take the suggestion of Kathleen. So we have Corey ten Boom. She's a great Christian woman who saved Jews during World War II. We're going to add another great lady, St. Teresa of Avila. So we're going to do that one. She was a Spaniard, and we're going to find some other ladies. Let's see here now. All righty, I would love to have, let's see here now. Who are our ladies?
I got one. Look up there on the table.
Okay, so we're going to have Mrs. Smith, Bob Smith. Oh my goodness, I'm tired today. Dr. Bob, and who is our other friend? Oh, don't get old. All righty. Lois. Lois is there. Dorothy Day. Then we have Anne Frank. Then we have, all righty. And so we're going to let our friend get these ready here. There you go. Bill W., thank you. So here is Dorothy Day, Bill W.'s wife, Anne Frank, and who was our friend who, oh, we've got to get her name again. This is the wonderful lady who became Right to Life. We'll have to get her name again. We'll find that on the internet. All right? Because I forgot to. I think I'm a little tired today. All right.
Oh, the Mrs. Roe versus
Yeah, Mrs. Roe versus, yes, Roe versus Wade. We'll have to take a look at that, and we'll get her name. She'll forgive me from eternity. She knows I'm tired today. But we're here for you. Okay. All righty. Maybe I shouldn't have had the decaffeinated Diet Coke. Maybe I need the regular one. All right. So, new changes at St. Paul's. I'm going to take my mask off because Marcos is more than 6 feet away. Is every morning at 9 o'clock, it is the parish assembly. This is for little kids, adults, high school, senior citizens. And so instead of staying in your jammies all day, at 9 o'clock, we start with a prayer. Then Mrs. Crow, who's in charge, the virtue of the week. And the virtue of this week is order. I thought that was a great idea because a lot of times when you're at home, there's a lot of disorder, right? So to get yourself organized. And then we continue with an exercise program with joining a video with Maurice. So that would be great. So again, Monday through Friday, join our kids with the assembly, prayer, virtue, and the race, and our exercise, okay? All righty. So, Marcos, you're going to help us with, I'm going to stay on this side.
You want me to look up the lady's name first?
Oh, good. Why don't you do that? So it's Roe versus Wade, yes. We just have forgotten her name. There we are.
Norma McCorvey.
Oh, yes, Norma. Is that right?
Yep.
Norma. Okay. And you'll write it on there because Father is getting old. Norma McCorvey, all right? Okay. But we'll introduce these ladies after we do our race. Okay. So Marcos, I have a couple of questions for you. All righty. He's getting his coffee. How did you think our exercise class went today?
That was pretty good. So we had, was it 4 stages or 4? Well, the commercial broke it up, right?
Oh, right.
So we had, was it 4 sections that you did?
Yeah, it's about 16 minutes, in the form, then there's some commercials in between.
Right. So I think it went well.
Yeah.
Some of the kids were wiped out.
Yeah. So we always told the kids, don't push yourself. If you're tired, just
Take
sit
breaks,
down,
yep.
take breaks, don't push it. But it's good for me, I'll be honest with you. Now, you were too preoccupied with the camera.
Yeah, I was a little envious
So what do you think? Are you going to start exercising?
with all that. If I don't have to move the camera, sure.
Right. I mean, again, then maybe do it during the commercial break or something. Yeah. No, because it's good. I had been practicing with it for a week before we did it today. So, no, that's good. So,
I plan on going home and exercising before I take a shower.
yeah.
And
What
I
do you
always
do?
sleep well.
What do you do? What do you do to exercise?
I have resistance bands.
Resistant bands, huh?
Mhm.
Oh,
It's a step up from isometrics.
right.
So isometrics, I could do regular, good workout for
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes, and that'll just keep you toned up.
Right.
But the resistance bands, it gives me a little more, I guess, make me laugh a little bit.
Right. Well, what I noticed is I've lost, I'd say, solidly 10 pounds, I think, maybe 12 even. But I've been at a little bit of a blockage because I've been watching my carbs and all that. But I think I'm going to go back to losing a little more weight because of the exercise.
Yeah.
All
For
right.
me, the biggest problem is having time to eat before 7. If I can eat dinner before
Right.
7,
I see.
then my body has enough time to start
Yeah.
doing its job before I go to sleep. If
Oh.
I don't eat dinner before 7, then I'll get home and eat, and that just makes me go to sleep before
Yeah.
my body has a chance to start breaking
No,
down.
I hear you. Okay, kiddo, we're going to watch ourselves because we want to stay healthy. Number 1. Oh, by the way, choose your dinosaur today.
All
Number
right,
1.
I'm going to go with number 3.
And I'm going for number 6, all right? Number 1. Number 6. And Kathleen, I tried to call you because I could not remember Corey ten Boom's name. So that's why I called you about 15 minutes ago before I printed everything out. All right, number 4.
Kathleen's going for number 5.
Okay, Kathleen. All righty. Number 3. Okay, I'll get out of your way here. Number 2. Number 3.
So what else did you do today?
Well, like I say, you know what my new line is? I'm like a kid in a candy shop without any sugar diabetes. So I'm just
soaking it all up.
I'm just soaking it all up. So remember, I got the school. By the way, I think we hit 102 last night.
Temperature?
No, 102 registered. Oh, I know it. No, 102. I just got another call.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, no, we're going to be at 120.
And remember, not all of those kids are going to be in the classroom.
Right. And they'll have that option.
Mhm.
They have that option. So today was yesterday and today, we had the kids measure the placement of their chairs. So they understood having to be 6 feet apart. They understood all the rules. These are at our summer academy.
Right.
And today I just went to HEB and I bought 10 inexpensive,
Those are those little totes, right?
whatever these are. They're little plasticware, but the ones I bought are much larger.
Right, but that's one per child?
One per child, so they won't be sharing crayons and all that kind of stuff. So when they come to the class, they'll know that they're 6 feet apart in their chairs. Number 2, they keep their mask on. Number 3, that they keep their equipment to themselves.
Mhm.
And also before they come in, or when they arrive, they get their temperature taken, and then Mrs. Mazuka asks a whole bunch of questions. All right? Number 5. Number 4. But I really liked the exercise today. Number 6. And I loved hearing Mrs. Crow talk about order. Because even myself, I've got to get much more organized.
You know what?
Number 5.
Number 5. Just because we have this platform,
Yes.
I need to replace some smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. So if any one of you know somebody who works for a company that will keep me from having to go to Home Depot and get them, because they get it expensive.
Is that for here, the community center?
Actually, we had to replace one at the community center downstairs,
Right.
and we had to get a certain grade.
Oh, I see.
But these that I'm speaking of are for one of our houses.
Oh, at the,
JP2
on
house.
Sutton. Oh, the
Right.
JP.
Yeah,
That's our youth house.
right, the youth house. So
And so what is it? It's a,
well,
it's a carbon.
detector that's a both smoke and carbon monoxide
Right.
detector. It's standard nowadays.
Right.
It's not the top of the line, but it should be able to detect both.
Right. And the thing here is this: is it the batteries are no good, or the
Well,
machine isn't no good?
The machine at this point,
Oh.
because the first thing you do is check the batteries.
Right.
Now it gives off certain beeps.
Yeah.
You know, one for fire, just keeps
Yeah,
going over.
right.
You get another one for carbon monoxide,
Yeah.
another one for.
I see.
But at a certain point, it's going to give you a couple of beeps
Yeah.
and a couple of lights,
I see.
and that only happens after the life of the
Oh.
machine is to its expiration date.
Right. So anybody who's got any information to assist our friend Marcus, make it happen.
I believe there was a gentleman who came here and helped clean. He was from a company, kind of like Cintas, but it was
Right.
Unistore or Uniform. But
Right.
I'd like to talk to him because he offered a lot more than just uniforms.
I see.
Anyway, give us a call at the office here.
Number 6.
Oh.
Number 6. Number 3. Now,
I wasn't sure if he was an axe brother or if he
Right.
was just a friend of an axe brother.
I can't remember. I don't
But
remember.
I remember them coming over here.
Number
When we
3.
first started doing mass over here and letting public in.
I see.
So we asked for volunteers to come help clean, and he showed up with his
Oh.
cleaning products.
Really?
He had on a company shirt.
My goodness. Any help we can get.
Sure.
One of our little experiments is going to be I just purchased at half price 10, they're called wedding reception tents.
Uh-huh.
They're 10 by 10. And so on the sides, they have windows. They're, plastic windows, right?
Okay.
And then there's material on the front and the back that you can open up, right?
Right.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to experiment in the ballroom and see if those would kind of work for kids having a safe environment. I'm really thinking
That's going
about
to be an experiment.
yeah. So I think what I'm thinking about more for the high school students.
Sure.
Because what we're looking for is a lot of the high schools are not opening up, but they're still online. And we wanted to have the high school students be able to come to what we're going to call the village study hall.
Mhm.
And so they would be able to get their own little room, 10 by 10, their own little desk, own little fan, and will be able to have community, but also be able to follow whatever their online program is.
Sure.
And so, but then we're going to ask for at least 3 hours of service. One is under Mr. Saldana, and that'll be having just clean
Yeah.
someplace. Number 2, they're going to learn how to do the camera.
Mhm. Who are you going to get to do that with?
Mr. Saldana, too.
What's the third one?
Then number 3 is we want them to do an hour of tutoring with the little kids.
Mhm.
So so that would be nice. So they'll be able to, and then we'll do the social distancing and all that. So again, at least 3 hours of service. Their lunch will be provided, and again, I think it'll be kind of fun. They'll be able to make their own, decorate their own little 10 by 10.
Yeah,
We'll see.
It's got a chance. It
Yeah.
really does.
Because the thing is this, a high school student all by himself or herself 5 days a week. I mean, we want him to be safe, but so we're trying to find a new environment. We'll work it out. If it doesn't work, then we'll use them for our thrift shop or something. Number 5. Are there any comments on our thing there? Number 3.
We do. Let's see. Raymond Estrada's going for number 4.
Raymond, I never called you back, but I saw your name on my phone.
Uh-oh.
Number 1.
Kathleen had a similar situation to your phone.
Oh,
Sorry I missed your call.
right, Kathleen. I just couldn't remember.
My phone has died.
Oh, I can relate. I can relate. Is your phone 63 like I am?
A new one coming Thursday, she said.
Excellent.
Philia's watching. She hasn't yet
Number 6. Number 3. One more. Number 5. Number 4. Okay. Number 2.
Making it more interesting.
Number 4. Okay. I'm still having fun with the senior bingo at 1 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yep.
And the kids are doing a great job. Personality Plus. Number 3.
And that's a winner.
Oh my goodness. Da na 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 na.
You know-
Victory, victory, victory.
I worry about my camera skills when it comes to that kind of a layout, where
Now-
everything's spread out.
Right.
And then if I try and zoom in, I can't zoom back fast enough to stay in frame. But I'm working on it.
Well, remember, the audience gets what they pay for. We're doing the best we can. We do the best we can. All righty.
All right.
So again, just remind me of our sister's name again.
McCorvey.
McCorvey, and her first name is
I thought it was Norma.
Norma. So Norma McCorvey. Okay.
Make me want to go check again.
No. Norma McCorvey. So let's look at women of dignity tonight. Dorothy Day, a convert to Catholicism.
Social worker.
So, everything, a socialist, not a social worker,
Socialist, okay.
socialist who became a Catholic. And then Bill W.'s wife, Lois.
Okay.
I was listening to a video just recently. Again, really interesting stuff. I really loved it. And I listened to Bill W. From the 1950s. He's telling his story. Very, very interesting. You got to watch this stuff on YouTube. And then again, a heroine, our wonderful Anne Frank. Remember, we call our theater the Anne Frank Family Theater. And on Sunday, Marcos, did you have a chance to meet that wonderful family?
No, I was cleaning.
Okay, so what happened was I was doing the 10:30 mass, right? And Jennifer is at the door, and this wonderful family from, I think I'm 6 feet apart, right?
Yes.
Yes. So this wonderful family that used to attend here came. And I was just thrilled. And Jennifer, during the Mass, showed them around. And then once Mass was over, I showed them around. It really was a beautiful experience. It really was. So we love our Jewish experience. Then we have our wonderful Norma McCorvey. Again, a convert to Catholicism, but again, I think she was a Texan, right? I think that we were saying that.
I think you said.
Yes, and again, she was the one who they used to go to the Supreme Court and eventually make abortion legal. And now, with Corrie ten Boom, she is a Christian woman who hid Jews. And then our new person is Teresa of Avila. Now, Teresa of Avila is interesting. She's a Spanish woman, a nun, and a real mover and shaker. And she had Jewish roots in her family, but was a Christian Catholic woman. So the reason why I'm choosing, say Teresa of Avila, is that she has this theme of the interior castle. Remember, our race is to the Father's house. Well, she teaches us that the race to the Father's house is an interior journey inside of us, and we are the Father's house, okay? So, Are you going to go for number 6, Dorothy Day, my heroine and friend? Lois, Anne Frank, McCorvey, Norma McCorvey, Corrie ten Boom, or Teresa of Avila? All righty. Number 4. And then again, there we are. This is Norma. All right. Thank you for being such a good person. Number 5. Okay.
Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. Okay, you're good.
See, she died in Katy.
Oh, she did. Okay, Katy, Texas. All right. So I've got my major research from Wikipedia on Corrie ten Boom. All right. So every time she moves, we'll read a little more. Okay.
Sounds great.
So born in 1892, died in 1983, was a Dutch Christian watchmaker and later a writer, worked with her father, all right, and other family members to help many Jews escape the Nazis from the Holocaust during World War II by hiding them in her home. She believed her actions were following the will of God. They were caught and she was arrested and sent to a concentration camp. The famous little book that was written about her in the movie is called Hiding Place. And what's interesting is she lived in Holland, the same place where our sister Anne Frank was. And also our friend Etty Hillesum. Etty Hillesum, who, again, so Etty Hillesum, a Jew, Anne Frank, and there was Corrie Tannenbaum. All right, great. Let's keep going. Number 3, Anne Frank.
How about Norma?
Oh, I get, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're good. You're good. All righty. I got to learn my numbers, huh? Number 1.
Okay, Sister Avila.
Okay.
Is it Sister Avila?
No, Saint Teresa of Avila.
Oh.
Okay. So she has a number of things about the prayer life. So she uses the idea that your soul is a garden.
Okay.
And you've got to let God take over your life. She says in the spiritual life, sometimes it's like watering from a bucket and a well. You know, it's a lot of work, right?
Right.
You know, you do all the work. And the next one was, she goes then she says, then you do a little irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then you do a little irrigation. So it's less work for you and
Right.
more God's work.
Gotcha.
And then she says, the rain is all God's work.
Right.
See? So she has all these little analogies of prayer. And what it is that when we start praying, like with the bucket and the well,
Mm-hmm.
gimme, Lord, I need this, I need this, I
Oh,
need you know,
yeah,
it's a lot of me.
Okay.
See? So we go from
Bucket and well is me.
me, and then we move to kind of maybe more meditation, which would be maybe irrigation. And then the last one is contemplation, where you just surrender to God and let Him do all the work, less of you. Hard to get to, but we'll talk more.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1,
Saint Teresa.
Saint Teresa. So those are her different analogies. So it's, if I remember correctly, it's well, bucket, irrigation,
And rain.
then being in a river, and then rain.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there was she throws in the river somewhere.
okay.
I was studying this last night for another purpose, late at night.
Yeah.
So again, all of us in our prayer life, it's a lot about me. You know, beat up my enemies, help me win the lotto, you know, have Father Charles show up on time. Don't let Father Charles keep making new ideas, right?
You're beating your head up.
Exactly.
That's a big old. That's a little bucket.
It's a
and
little-
real deep well.
Yes, exactly. So coming to a point when I pray, I calm myself down with God's grace and let Him speak to me, okay? All
I
right.
think I'm at the next stage. I think I'm like the irrigation, but
Yeah,
it's trickling. It's trickling.
exactly. It's not all about I want this, I want this, I want
but
this.
I still need help from her.
Oh, I
from
tell
her
you, we all
philosophy.
do. We all do. 6, Dorothy Day. All
Okay,
right.
Since 3 is already going, I'm gonna pick number 4, Anne Frank.
And I always stick with number 6.
Okay, well you're ahead of me right now.
All right. I've been studying more and more of of Dorothy Day this last week too.
All right.
Good stuff.
What do you
good
have today?
Well, for me, Dorothy Day is that she is the one who introduced me to this Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection.
Okay.
So she's the one.
Did they know each other?
No. Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection was a long time before Dorothy Day.
Okay.
But she had read a book called Practicing the Presence of God. And what happened is she wrote she wrote an article in what we call the Catholic Worker.
Okay.
So what happened is she and her friend, her founder of the Catholic Worker, started a newspaper, and so she would write articles. And she wrote an article on Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection.
Now this was her being a non-Christian.
Oh no.
At this point, she was already converted?
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So when she started the Catholic Worker, she already converted maybe
Okay.
for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah, so she loved the Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection. And what I loved about it is with Dorothy Day, everyone was driving her crazy. And the only way you could not blow up is stay with your head and heart in heaven, always in God's presence, all right? That's what I'm trying to do as much as I can. All right. Number 6, Dorothy. Okay, God love you. Number 4.
Anne Frank.
Anne Frank, with all the trouble she was going through, she says people are still good people. God love her. Number 6. All right, Dorothy. All right. Number 3. Norma McCorvey. All right. Number 6, Dorothy Day. All righty. Number 4. Anne Frank. All righty.
Everybody has
Number 5, Lois.
Kathleen thanks you for adding Corey Kendall and Teresa, Miss Teresa.
All right,
Those
good.
are her heroines.
Good. Oh, they're
Give me a
fabulous.
vote for number 4.
And you're my heroine, all right, Kathleen. So, this week I've been studying what we call the 12 traditions of AA. So
Okay.
there's the 12 steps, which is personal.
So the traditions, what are those?
The 12 traditions are how do the different organizations get along
What?
of AA.
Oh, okay.
Because see, the thing is, AA, it's very, all you need is 2 or 3 people saying I'm an alcoholic and I want to live the program. And you have an official AA group. You don't have to
Okay,
apply.
that makes sense. I
So
gotcha.
you got to figure out how do you do all this?
Yeah.
And the first thing was this that I like to talk about is that our common unity comes first. Our sobriety depends on our common unity.
Right.
Because what happens
They're
is,
relying on each other.
yeah, rely on each other, but we got to go for the common unity. And that's an important thing.
Sure.
Because if we don't have this unity, because Dr. Bill talks about something called the Washingtonians. And they were right before the Civil War. And they started a movement similar to AA right before the Civil War. There was a huge number of people that joined the Washingtonians. But what happened is they started getting involved in politics. And so like the people who were pro-slavery,
Sure.
the people who were against slavery, people who were prohibition, against prohibition, all of those other issues which are important became a distraction.
Right.
So their idea was this: no, group unity is everything. We got to stay united, and we don't get involved in any kind of politics.
Now that is important.
Yes.
But I can see where if you have the bowlers against the softballers,
Yeah.
You could have problems there too.
No, exactly, exactly. So you got to you got to say we're here for unity, and number two, we're not going to be talking about all these issues other than I got to stay sober. So I thought that was very good. Again,
So this is in their traditions.
yeah, in the 12 traditions.
Okay.
So they have the 12 steps is for the individual,
Right.
and the 12 traditions. So and again, like the other tradition is nobody's in charge, but the people in charge are just our trusted servants. They're a servant model. We'll talk more, but and what I found interesting is I came out on the internet and I found two businessmen who have run their businesses
Based
on the 12 traditions
Yeah, I can see that.
because it's about unity. All right. Okay. All righty. Number 6, Dorothy, my heroine. All righty. Number 6, the race is on.
Check the die.
Check the die. All right. Number 5, Lois, we love you. So poor Bill W. For many years, it was his wife who made the living.
Right. And you're saying poor Bill W?
Well, right. Well, oh no, I understand what you're saying.
He got lucky.
Well, he got lucky because he married a woman with dignity.
Exactly.
But see what happened is Bill W. was a big financier on Wall Street. So for even a woman or a man, but in those days in the 1930s, his ego was really low, very low, because he couldn't provide for his wife.
Right.
So there's a story in which AA begins to progress.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a man who runs a hospital. And he says to Bill W., you're pretty famous now.
Yeah, going on a tour.
Yeah, what we're going to do is I'll give you a job and I'll give you part of the profits. And we'll start a hospital and make money on this deal. And Bill W. was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the other people said, Bill, there's something wrong about this. That you're going to make money off this. So again, the traditions, these were the traditions, So number 1, unity is important. I don't have them in order. I'll write them out. But unity is important. We just have trusted servants.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get involved in any other of these issues.
Right.
And anonymity is important.
Okay.
And again, we're not here to make a buck, I'll tell you. So, because at one point AA thought, well, I know what we'll do is we'll start hospitals. We'll have a chain of hospitals. We'll make money.
Yeah, you're sick. Come here and give me some money.
Right.
And we'll make you better.
Yeah. And so what happens is that we have all these hospitals, which are very heroic, or all these recoveries, and all these jails, too, I hate to say it. And where do they send everybody? To a free AA meeting. Well, but again, these other programs are very important. But it's
a lot of them are absolutely necessary.
Yes, very good. But it is interesting, All righty, number 4.
And Frank.
And
Go,
Frank.
Ophelia. Go, Ophelia.
Number 5.
Mrs. Wilson.
Kathleen. Kathleen is our great writer. What would be great, Kathleen, is if on any of these people, if you would just type out 6 important points, and that every time they move, then I'll pull a card.
Right.
Because sometimes I forget.
You forget things.
Yeah, I do forget things,
You just read a whole list of it, but...
Yeah, I know. So that would be a nice idea that we have...
Kathleen, save him.
Save me. So what we'll do is we'll just have little bits of information about that person, and every time they move, and so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? We need 8 cards for every new person, and Kathleen, you'll just, and again, we'll print them out, and then we'll just every time they move, all right? And that could be fun, and that could almost be a family game.
Right.
We could make a buck off this. Oh, no. We'll talk, Kathleen. All right. Number 2.
Let's see, that's the Tamboon.
Yes. All right. Okay.
Boom.
So let's see what we. So we know she was in the Netherlands. She knows she was a watchmaker. Let's read a little bit. It's called Life After War. Okay. After the war, Corey returned to the Netherlands to set up a rehabilitation center. Interesting. The refugee housed concentration camp survivors had exclusively sheltered jobless Dutch who had collaborated with the Germans during the occupation until 1950, when it accepted anyone in need of care. So she did these rehabilitation centers.
Right.
She found out her nephew had died in a concentration camp.
Oh.
She returned to Germany in 1946 and met and forgave 2 Germans who had been employees of that concentration camp. So let me understand that after the war, Corey returned to the Netherlands and set up rehabilitation centers. The refugees housed in survivors. So I guess these were people who had survived the camps needed some help.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Excellent point. And then the other interesting point is her nephew dies and she goes and forgives the people who did this. You know, when you really think about it, Martin Luther King Jr., our wonderful friend John Lewis, a congressman who just died. Let me get I'm sorry. John Lewis. Corey Town Boone forgiving those who did such awful things to her. Even we see a real sense of forgiveness and understanding on the part of Anne Frank, when she writes about the people are good. In this day, right now, we're in a lot of stress right now because people are so angry. I just wonder, it's very important to protest injustice, but what I still love about John Lewis, congressman, and Martin Luther King is they were always peaceful and dignified. And I just think it's a good example for those of you who are protesting. We want protests. That's how things, improve, all right? But again, with dignity and the example of these wonderful people in our history, all right? Okay. All right, number 4. Anne Frank, our heroine. So, again, hopefully soon we'll have our Anne Frank Family Theater open again. So, we just...
COVID-19, we'll be having it next week.
Oh, exactly. So we had, by the way, we have 3 new trees given to us by the city. They're neat. And again, how are we watering them? We're still using the bucket?
Yes. Right now it's easiest.
Okay.
Until we have our guy come over and reattach our hose bib.
Okay, good. So we need I bought the hoses. It's kind of like, isn't it a lot of work to bring that bucket of water?
That's a relative idea.
Well, it sounds like
It's a relative idea.
it sounds like Teresa of Avila.
Sure.
And so a hose would be a lot easier, maybe, or irrigation, or whatever. Let's not go. We may have a disagreement.
So you have plus and minus of
Right,
both.
right, yeah. Because
When
the
you're
hose.
done with the hose, you can't leave it out there. And while you're using the hose, you have to protect it from being run over
Yeah.
by big trucks.
It is what it is, baby.
So,
but we're going to get much more. We're going to beautify our outside, so there's going to be more watering in the future. So, this is going to be our sign. We have a rock sign. It's going to be a nice sign, and it's going to be a rock wall, and it's a St. Paul's Community Center. And I talked to Dolores yesterday. We had some different ideas, and so this is what's going to say: St. Paul's Community Center. The neighborhood place to pray, love, eat, learn, shop, and go to the movies. All right, that covers all the things we do here, right? Almost, all right, okay.
Forgot clean.
Oh, yeah, clean. Number 3. All right. Number 5. Lois, I love you. Number 6. Dorothy Day wins the day. All right. Okay. All right. So,
Hey, do I need to remind you that Ophelia won Pondusa?
oh, Ophelia, do I owe you a pan dulce?
This is from bingo.
You know what? The interest is accumulating. Every time I delay by week, you get an extra piece, all right? All right, Ophelia, we'll work it out. So, is there any more news? Again, we're starting our school, summer school on August 4th, right?
Okay.
August 4th.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah, next week we're going to have our learning connection.
Okay.
But in the first week of August, any public school kid, any kid from any Catholic school, any private school, they'll be able to watch our public school, our summer school on Facebook.
August is next week.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Oh, we're ready to go, man. Oh, yeah. And so we're planning, and again, it's going to be an easy summer school. But what we're doing is we're trying to teach our teachers how to do lessons and how do parents get involved, how do kids get involved, all right? So it's really, it's not, so we're going to do that. And then the 17th, we have, the school will start officially with either online or in-person classes with all the rules. And again, what's neat about it is we will have had a whole month of practicing, and then we're with the summer school, and now we're going to have at least 2 or 3 weeks with our Catholic school teachers practicing. How do you do online classes? How do you make it interesting? How do you have 4 kids here that are in the classroom and 3? It's going to be fun.
So how's the thrift shop going?
Oh, thank you for asking. So the old rectory, being a good Italian, remember all us Italians didn't have 2 cents to rub together. So when we came from Sicily, we all wanted to have some kind of business down below and live above the store. Well, I have my dream. I live above the store, and Ramiro just finished painting.
Oh, okay.
So so we did some painting, and it's going to be a Christmas store, a women's clothes store, men's clothes store, all
Any
kids, everything. And we get some really neat donations. So that'll be on the Sutton, and we'll see how it works out. And I just got a chandelier, so you or someone else would have been, who could help us? Maybe Louis Olivares. He's an electrician. Maybe he can put that up
back
for
from
us.
Hawaii?
Oh yeah, I hope you know Louis Olivares and Mary Helen got married, and they got back from their honeymoon.
Was it Bora Bora?
No, it was Bernie.
Oh,
You're out there in the
exotic.
campground. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, no, the gift shop's going well, and we're making it happen. What I really need is this: do you have some relative who loves vinyl records? I have hundreds of records from every period of time. And I just hate to just throw them out and put them in a bin and people go through them.
Yeah.
I need to find out how much each of them are worth. And so I would love to have, let's say there's 5 or 6 women and men that love records, and they want to start a club. I'd love them to go through our records, and then what would happen is they go to eBay and they figure out what the price is and they price them.
You need some help with that.
Oh yeah, and also I think the kids would be good at it. I mean, it would be good for the older kids to look up things,
Kids, right.
to look up the record and see what it's going for on eBay. So we'll work it out. All right. Well, kiddos, I have the privilege tonight to go visit Bishop Yanta, our friend. And so it is 8:20, and I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we had our 2 races that we got to visit, and I'm going to go visit Bishop Yanta.
Ophelia says, buy the Pondusa for the kids. Thank you, Father.
Oh, so Ophelia has donated the pan dulce to the kids. Thank you, Ophelia. All righty. Excellent. Why don't we have a prayer? And I'm going to go visit our friend, Bishop Yanta. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks and praise for community. May St. Paul's be a community from the youngest child to the oldest senior citizen. May we exercise together, pray together, shop together, love together, learn together, and stay safe together. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. God bless you, saints. And Marcos, I enjoyed